on YouTube. Yeah, we're live right now.
Sick.
Oh, there you are on the YouTube screen. Okay.
How about that for an entrance? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can't hear me? Bro. I can. Bro. Yeah, I can hear you.
Dadgummit.
I gotta turn this YouTube thing off. Okay, now it's just us. I can hear you. Wait, you can't hear me? That's strange. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Because it says my mic is working.
Hello?
I can hear you now.
Wait. Turn the volume up.
For me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, barely.
Barely. How? Oh, I understand. I think it's because I'm not here. I'll bring my laptop closer.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
You hear me better? I think we're still live right now, actually. So let me go to that.
How about that?
I think we're live right now, technically.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta go to that real quick. If it will let me.
Hey, at least we made it on.
Yeah. At least we did. Oh, we are on live right now.
Let's go.
It is working.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yes, it's. So yeah, now just waiting for people to join that. And we'll wait a couple of minutes and then we'll start.
Yeah.
My camera angle's a whole lot better this time around.
Hey, you notice I'm wearing the good old Make America Great Again?
Yeah. You had a comment on that on one of the videos.
I know. Yeah, I saw that.
So there is that, but
Yep.
I'm just happy I'm able to get that live to work.
I know. Well, we tried it last time, and for whatever reason, it wasn't doing us any favor.
I'm trying to join it right now, but it's giving me issues. I'm just trying to navigate it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says we're live, so
yeah.
We'll start in about. When do you want to start?
Whenever you're ready.
Alrighty.
Because there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, there is. For sure.
Yep. Well, let's talk about the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. Arizona State, they were a buzzsaw against Iowa State.
Yeah, they destroyed Iowa State for sure.
I thought Iowa State was going to keep it close.
Of course.
I didn't expect Arizona State to absolutely just blow them out.
Yeah, Cam Scatterbro really, really played really well. He had like 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, was that their running back?
Yeah, their running back went off. They dropped like 48 points.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it's just something it's just something I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be a lot closer, but obviously there's a lot of craziness this weekend that I didn't think was going to happen. So that was not like a super surprise, but it's definitely a pleasant surprise.
No, well now they punched their ticket into the playoffs.
First round bye too.
Yeah. So that wasn't shocking. It was just shocking from the score aspect because I didn't expect Iowa State. I mean, they got their butts handed to them.
Yeah.
It was
not a good showing from Iowa State. But the other conference championship that happened the day before that was Boise State and UNLV. Not really a surprise there.
No. Oh, sorry. Going back to the Arizona State-Iowa State game for just a second. So the team stats for both teams. So Iowa State, they had 341 total yards of offense, which isn't bad at all. Passing yards, they threw for 214. They rushed for 127, and they averaged 4.9 yards per play. And then Arizona State, boy, they had 464 total yards of offense. They passed for 219. They rushed for 245 yards, and they averaged 8.1 yards per play. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting.
Yeah. No wonder Arizona State scored 45.
I think there'll be a nice little surprise in the playoffs. We'll see.
Yeah. Anywho, going back to the Boise State Broncos.
Yeah, they got a first-round bye too, which really surprised me that they got the 3rd seed despite their strength of schedule only being, we lost to Oregon.
Yeah, that's not a bad loss.
But they took care of business.
Right. Yeah.
Throughout the season, they deserve everything.
Well, you couldn't have asked more from them. They go 12-1. Their only loss was to number 1 Oregon by a field goal on the road at Oregon. That's a pretty dang good schedule.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good resume.
They beat UNLV twice, which is pretty good for them, all things considered.
Right. Yeah. And Ashton Jeanty, he went off.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in New York come this weekend, I think. I think that's when the awards are. Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Come in a couple weeks or a day. I don't even know. But he's going to be there in New York with Travis Hunter and others.
For sure. Yeah. And honestly, I know the Heisman race is really, really close. I honestly wouldn't be shocked. Right now, I wouldn't be shocked if Ashton Jeanty stole the Heisman from Travis Hunter.
I wouldn't be super surprised either.
That's the kind of year that Jeanty's had all season.
Yeah.
He hasn't just been playing like that for a couple of games. He's been playing like that all year long. And so, yeah.
The argument that I've been seeing the most on social media is that his volume, he's getting a crazy amount of carries, but he's still averaging 7 yards per carry, which is still really, 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 really good.
Well, and when you have a run game that can – because that wears down defenses. When you're able to run the ball that much in a game, that wears down your D-line. That wears down your entire defense because you got to focus on stopping the run. And then you're so focused on stopping the run once they do start passing the ball, that's a big disadvantage for that defense because all they've been doing is, protecting against the run.
And, their quarterback, Boise State's quarterback, played really good that game too. He threw a touchdown on 3rd and 19, which was an amazing throw.
Right.
That Friday night. But it's Boise State. They're going to play complimentary football. Obviously being carried by Ashton Jeanty.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be a
State. Yeah, and Boise State, they led 21-0. UNLV, they scored kind of late there, but the Broncos, they just put their will against UNLV, and they just went to town with them.
Yeah,
and yeah,
very, very easy game for them.
But Boise State, what I think a lot of people, what a lot of people might say is, well, Boise State's schedule hasn't been their strength all year. Well, true, but the conference that they're in, they took care of business. They went 12-1, losing only to the number 1 team in the country, the Oregon Ducks, who is right now the best team in college football right now. So, and they just won their conference championship. I think they're pretty deserving of making a playoff case,
Yeah. Army did the same. I think Army did the same thing too.
Yeah.
But they obviously had a really bad loss to Notre Dame that sort of kicked them out of any discussion.
Yeah, that kind of ended their straw there.
But they won the American, so that was a very nice thing to see.
Yeah.
And they play next week, which is kind of funny.
Against dude,
Navy.
That Army-Navy game is going to be crazy.
That's going to be a point of discussion next week, ain't it?
Yeah, that'll be a really fun game to watch. Because I mean, I can't remember a time where Army and Navy were like 10-2 or 9-2 going into the game. I think they're both 9-2.
They have a lot of wins. I know that.
Yeah.
Army winning the American. This is the first time I've seen them win a conference championship of any kind.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So let's see. We've covered the Big 12 championship. So Arizona State is going to have a bye. Mm-hmm. Boise State's going to have a. Do they have a bye? Boise State?
Yeah, it's going to be Boise State and Arizona State. I think Georgia got a bye.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We got to talk about that game too. Georgia versus.
Yeah, that was an electric game. That game was exciting to watch.
Georgia versus Texas.
Yeah.
Can I just point something out? So, what's crazy to me? Think about this. Texas. I saw this somewhere on Instagram, somewhere on social media. Texas didn't have to play Ole Miss. They didn't have to play Tennessee. They didn't have to play Auburn. They didn't have to play LSU. And they also didn't have to play Missouri or South Carolina.
Woo.
I mean, they missed out on some teams, man.
They did.
So, yeah. So definitely, when they start playing those teams, it might be a little bit rougher down the road. But man, they showed tremendous fight against Georgia. You had the feel for Quinn Ewers just because. I mean, honestly, he couldn't have played better. Texas definitely missed some opportunities in the red zone, which they could have scored.
Yeah. I'm sorry I interrupted you there.
No, you're good, bro. You're good.
No, I saw Quinn Ewers miss a few throws late in the game, and Carson Beck got injured.
Right. Yeah.
In that game.
Yeah. And I think Ewers was still wearing that brace he had when he was playing against A&M. But Georgia absolutely they swallowed Texas's run game. Texas could not run the football. Your guy Trey Wisner,
Wisner's contained.
He could not run the ball.
Yeah, he was definitely not running anywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but Texas definitely. I mean, because in the first matchup they had, Texas didn't even. They had poor field position. They weren't moving the ball effectively, and they didn't look like the Texas team that we're used to seeing, especially under a Steve Sarkisian offense. And Texas had some rhythm. It's not like that they weren't moving down the field. It's just they couldn't finish drives, and that's essentially what costed them. Their field goal kicker, Bert Auburn, missed 2 field goals, which could have really changed the game. I mean, people always forget about special teams. Special teams will always win you the game. It doesn't matter how.
Very important.
You can never miss out on special teams.
You can't let it become something bigger.
Right.
Special teams can be a really insignificant part of the game if it is played correctly.
Mm-hmm.
If you make a mistake, that's when it becomes big.
Right. Yeah, we've definitely seen it plenty of times. But Georgia, in my opinion, I think they still owned the line of scrimmage. In my opinion, the defensive line got after Ewers. That first drive, it wasn't looking good for Texas whatsoever. I mean, Ewers was missing throws. They weren't able to run the ball. And how about Georgia's backup quarterback? Oh my gosh,
bro! No. This is the funny thing. He got rocked at the end of the game.
Yeah, and then Beck came in, handed the ball
to win the game.
ETN, yeah.
You can't make that up, can you?
No, you can't draw it up either.
Carson Beck, I don't know if he's done for the season or not, but
Gunnar
Stockton.
Yeah.
Gunnar Stockton did a heck of a job managing the game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Well, in the first drive, he was on the field. He showed off some of his legs, and he threw the ball pretty good too.
Yeah, I saw him run a lot.
Yeah.
Just from anything, just from just a little bit I got to see near the end. Yeah. I had a busy day yesterday.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of conference championships and stuff, and I got to see the tail end of that.
Yeah.
Which leads me to probably the craziest game of last night. The ACC championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you predicted Clemson, and I thought I had a slight chance that touchdown prediction was going to be right when they tied it up with like 20 seconds left. I go just to do some work, just for a split second, and then I see Clemson setting up for a field goal. I'm like, what the heck just happened? Like, how did something happen that quickly?
Yeah. Well, it was like 31-14 at one point, and they climbed all the way back.
Yeah, that was a really impressive comeback by SMU. They obviously deserved to be in the playoffs, and that'll be a discussion topic of later.
Yeah. Well, SMU had 458 total yards of offense. They passed for 304. They rushed for 154, and they averaged 5.3 yards per play. And then Clemson, SMU actually had more yards than Clemson did. Clemson had 326. They rushed for 262 yards. They passed for 262. They rushed for 64, and they averaged 4.5 yards per play, which ain't bad, But
that was an exciting game to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah. And watching the game early too, Clemson was rolling pretty much. I mean, SMU didn't look like they had any hope left, and then in the third and fourth quarter, they started to wrap. I really thought SMU could come back and potentially win. I mean,
Kevin Jennings. How about Kevin Jennings in that game?
Yeah. Well, considering a guy who wasn't even the original starter to come into the season, and now to lead them to, obviously they didn't win their conference championship, but I mean, they're in the dang college football playoffs.
Yeah, you see a lot of that in college football.
Yeah.
You think you have an established starter, and the backup's more electric. He can throw the ball a whole lot better. He provides more of a spark for the team at a position.
Yeah.
And I saw that with my Baylor Bears this year a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We replaced the running back and the quarterback this year, and we won 6 straight games.
Yeah. Well, now y'all play. Good luck with LSU in the Texas Bowl.
Yeah, we have our hands full. We'll say that.
I hope y'all win.
I kind of wanted A&M just for a little bit, but
no offense to LSU fans, but I hope Baylor gets them. I hope Baylor gets.
Oh
LSU.
My goodness, thank you. That's one of the few times I've heard you root for Baylor.
Hey, you've rooted for A&M all year, so I'll give you a little Christmas present.
Oh, that's nice of you. They play on New Year's Eve, so 2:30. It's an early game.
Yeah. Well, I was paying attention to this one too. Penn State versus Oregon.
That game got close near the end too.
I was a little bit worried there that Oregon might slip there.
But the James Franklin fails to win another big game.
And okay, I know we went on a rant last episode.
Penn State's trash. No, they actually played really well.
Pull Penn State's schedule up.
Again,
yeah.
Oh no, here we go.
Oh,
that's the moment I became a meme last episode.
Kent State flashes.
59-0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna pull it up right here. We're gonna see. We're gonna click on good old Penn State. Are they on the other side of the bracket? That'd be a pain. Their schedule. I'm looking at it right now. It does not look that impressive. It's not as impressive as I thought it was. And with every reason. I mean, Bowling Green, Kent State, and the only good team they beat leading up to that Ohio State game was Illinois.
Yeah,
I don't have any of the enthusiasm like I did last episode. I'm not gonna emphasize the point. That is false information. I'm not doing that. That was. I got violated so bad. Like when that happened to me.
Well, Allison definitely did you a solid.
Oh yeah, she made me memeable.
Yeah, my sister definitely. She, if y'all haven't, those of y'all tuning in, if y'all haven't seen the last episode of our podcast, go check that out because it's
really good. It's really good. Yeah, I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, no, that was funny. But getting back to the game, so Penn State actually had more total yards of offense than Oregon did. They had 518. Oregon had 466, so no defense to be seen at all. Passing yards, Penn State had 226. Oregon had 283. Penn State, man, they rushed the ball really well. They ran the ball really well, 292 to 183. And then they averaged seven yards per play, and Oregon only averaged 6.2 yards. So, I mean, Penn State had them in stats. They just didn't have them on the scoreboard.
Yeah. Penn State, I think, they could make a decent little run with their offense. Their offense is much, much improved this season.
Yeah. But Penn State did they did throw 2 interceptions. So
yeah, Drew Allard obviously showing that he's pretty raw quarterback.
Yeah.
Very talented.
He's definitely got he's definitely got his growing moments. And
Dillon Gabriel showed why he's 75 years old and can play at any moment. I mean, you should have your doctorate at this point, bro. Like, go get a job.
How long has he been in college? Is he as old as Cam Rising?
He's close.
Wait, let me hang on.
I think this is like his 6th year.
Isn't it? Well,
6th or 7th.
I was about to say Cam Rising has been.
Cam Rising got a medical waiver to play his 8th year.
Dude, he's 25 years old. Hang on.
Golly, Dillon Gabriel,
Dillon Gabriel.
Out of the league already.
Oh, he's only 2 years. he's 23. So 2 years difference.
He's actually pretty young. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
No, he's actually pretty young. I'm
sorry, Dillon. It's just that he's transferred to a bajillion different schools the past
3 different schools. He had a whole career at UCF.
Yeah. And then he played
at Oklahoma for 2 seasons.
Yeah. He beat Texas. They should have gone to the Big 12 championship, but they weren't very consistent. But
it's just a very strange career.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna play for a natty.
Yeah. Well, he's got one of these playoff games. Yeah. Well, I think
he's gonna go play for a championship.
Well, I think I think the concerning thing for Oregon just a little bit lack of defense. I know Dan Lanning's a defensive coach, but their defense is kind of haven't been as good as I would assume they would have liked. Dillon Gabriel and the offense has kind of helped them get over those humps a little bit. So they might have to clean that up, but
for sure.
We'll see. And going back to the because I don't think no. Going back to the Georgia and Texas game because I didn't read the stats off. That's my bad. So like I said, Texas, they passed the ball pretty well. They passed the ball for 389. Georgia passed for 277. Texas rushed for 358 yards. Or no, sorry, they passed. Sorry, not rushed. They passed for 358 yards compared to Georgia's 136. Texas rushed for only 31.
That's probably why Texas lost.
Well, yeah, they didn't even rush for 100 yards.
You can only do so much with throwing the ball.
I mean, Wisner rushed for I think 188 yards last week against A&M.
Yeah, it's just sort of strange. It shows really how elite the Dogs are at defense, and they have always been a defensive school.
Yeah. In Georgia, they rushed for 141, and their per play average was pretty even.
Phenomenal.
Georgia averaged 4.1 yards per play, and then Texas averaged 5.3. So, not a drastic difference.
Not a drastic difference whatsoever.
Yeah. So, do we want to talk about just a sneak peek at the playoff bracket?
Why not?
All right, let's do it. So, if I can get something open, let's see. Playoff bracket. Here we go. So, okay, so this is how it's panning out. So, these are actually really cool matchups. I'm excited to see these.
Yeah.
So Clemson's going to take on Texas in Austin. That's going to be one heck of a game. I'm really excited for that one. Tennessee, Ohio State's going to be awesome. Both teams have offensive firepower. SMU and Penn State, that will be a fun one.
SMU, yeah, I like SMU a lot.
That's gonna be, and I think it's gonna be in Happy Valley, I believe. And then Indiana versus Notre Dame, that'll be interesting.
It will be.
And then obviously the conference champions, Arizona State, Oregon, Boise State, and Georgia all have first round byes, so they won't be playing in the first round of the playoffs. They'll be playing in the quarterfinals that will lead to semifinals, and then eventually two teams will get to the national championship. But that's going to be the playoff.
Yeah, it is.
So that'll be very interesting. I wonder if DeBoer's feeling. I don't think he is, but is Kalen DeBoer at Alabama feeling heat for not missing the playoffs?
Dude, I don't think he has anything to worry about.
No, I don't think he does either. I think borderline. I think Alabama fans are just disappointed they couldn't get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw this one old man on Instagram. He was really disappointed. The Bama Blitz guy, Roll Tide Willie. He seemed really, really disappointed.
Oh yeah,
didn't make it. Blitz, Bama Blitz.
Yeah,
don't give a piss about nothing but Tide.
And I can't remember who the YouTuber was, but there was some guy who was ranting that Alabama should have been over SMU, and he was like, SMU isn't. I mean, they haven't done anything, and I'm just like, buddy, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to Tennessee, which isn't a bad loss.
Even Nick Saban said the best teams were in the playoff.
Yeah.
Nick Saban himself says, his team screwed up. His team lost to 3 mediocre teams.
Yeah.
Except Georgia. Oh, no, they won against Georgia. They just lost when it mattered most.
Yeah. Well, and I think the committee did a really good job of choosing SMU over Alabama just because of what SMU was able to accomplish joining a new conference and falling short in the ACC championship. But I mean, they deserve to be in the playoffs no matter whether they lost or won the game. And I mean, Alabama was, they weren't average this year, but they were just too inconsistent.
Inconsistency.
Yeah.
And Clemson got rewarded for being inconsistent.
Dude, they definitely got some help getting into the playoffs.
They snuck in.
Yeah. Hey, that's all that matters. As long as you still wanted the seeds, that's all that matters,
If you're in, anything can happen. Chaos can ensue.
Yeah. I wonder how Mike Norvell at Florida State's feeling.
Yeah, bro's really upset, He's just
13-0 and then
kicking rocks over there.
Yeah, 2-10. But I think I'm really intrigued by that Clemson Texas game because I think to me I think Clemson is kind of like like I think they're peaking at the right time.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
Even though they lost to South Carolina, but that's a really good South Carolina team they lost to.
I think South Carolina deserved to be in the playoffs. They would have gotten in the playoffs if it wasn't for Clemson.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then that Indiana Notre Dame game is going to be very interesting. I think obviously we're going to do our predictions on the next episode, but
man, the playoffs this week.
No, I think they're in 2. No, are they this week?
I don't know.
I don't know. No. They start December 20th. So
it's just we're gonna have we're not gonna have a lot of content next week, so we might bring a guest on.
We might.
And my dad has asked me questions on my phone right here, so we're gonna see. He said, "What is our favorite non-playoff bowl matchup?"
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is an interesting one.
How about you go first. You go first.
I couldn't tell you, but I'd really have to look at the bowl sheet here.
Bowl sheet.
The bowl sheet. We do bowl picks in our house every year. Yeah. So honestly, I kind of like this. Oh, Memphis versus West Virginia might be interesting.
That'll be interesting.
You know what? I like Syracuse versus Washington State a lot.
Yeah.
Really good quarterback in John Mateer from Washington State, and a really good quarterback from Syracuse. It'll be fun. And then, Georgia Tech and Vandy should be interesting.
Right. Yeah, I think. What's kind of ironic is that Michigan and Alabama are playing again.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe they are. Alabama versus Michigan.
Wow, in the Reliant Quest Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
What?
Yeah, they're playing Michigan again. They're trying to get their payback from last year.
Wow.
Ended Nick Saban's era.
Yeah.
How cool is that? And then obviously my A&M Aggies, we play Lincoln Riley and USC. That'll be a fun game. It's gonna be in Las Vegas. That'll be a fun game.
And my dad has 2 more questions. He said, "How many players do you think will not play in a bowl game?" And
that's a good question.
And he also said, "Do you have some cheese for all the whining Alabama fans?"
Oh my gosh, dude! We need to get our dads get both of our dads.
Your dad might just be staring at he might be camera shy.
He might just be laughing the entire time.
I mean, my dad would probably just be cracking jokes.
Yeah.
And I think this players not playing in a bowl game has definitely been a factor more recently now than ever.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a little bit sad, especially the last couple of years. Like bowl games, they've
lost meaning.
Yeah, they've lost meaning. They haven't necessarily been as meaningful as maybe the Rose Bowl or Sugar Bowl or those big bowl games, which is kind of sad because that's an extra week that the players get to play with their team. And that's why I don't like it when players decide to declare for the NFL draft early before a bowl game, because
Jonah came in on the YouTube.
Oh, really?
He said, "Do you think Jonah asked this question?
Okay.
Do you think Paul Feinbaum thinks that the CFP committee took the easy way out over picking SMU over Alabama? What do you think about his opinion?"
They took the easy way?
Yeah, they took the easy way out.
No, I don't think so.
Well, Alabama had a really good strength of schedule. I think it was it was a hard decision. I can't imagine it being the easiest decision in the world, but lots of very angry and pissed Alabama fans.
Yeah.
Well,
like the reason why I say I don't think so, I just think SMU. I don't know. I just like them a lot, and the fact that they were able to get to the ACC champion. Alabama didn't get to their conference championship.
No.
So that's one advantage SMU has over Alabama. Even though the ACC is not the SEC, they still got to their conference title.
And I can connect this with my dad's question.
Okay, what's this question?
Do you think Alabama? Do I have something? Do I have like a wisdom nugget? What do I have to say to Alabama fans?
Dude, where's your dad coming up with these questions?
No, he just thinks I have some beef with Alabama fans or something.
I love these questions.
They can whine all they want, but I'm not the one who lost to 6-6 Vanderbilt. I'm not the one who lost to Oklahoma.
Hey, if you're not satisfied with going from 2008 to 2023, the last time they lost 4 or more games was back in 2007. So, Alabama's time is kind of drawing near a little bit.
This is why SMU took care of business against the unranked teams.
I was about
they
to say
played so well against the unranked teams.
I was about to say Alabama didn't take care of their own business.
That's why they don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
And then all these bandwagon fans are saying, "Oh, why didn't we get into the playoff?"
Didn't take care of business, buddy.
Yeah, I think it's just I'm not going to trash Oklahoma fans because I don't think they're not smart enough to understand anyway.
What's that supposed to mean, Ethan? What is that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean, Ethan?
Most of them are from the South. So, they're not as educated as some people might think.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I wouldn't. That's almost a backhanded insult. I got another question in the chat. Follow up. Since it is Army Navy week, who are your picks? This game is getting overshadowed by the CFP playoff rankings. Well,
that's very true.
Golly, I'm getting all these questions on my phone.
It's good though.
He wants to hear it. And answering that question, we don't pick games until like Thursday.
We can do how about this? We can do a preview of it.
4 people are watching. Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
It's what do you think? I think Army's gonna win for sure. But my prediction might change. You never know. Army has played really good. Navy's played really good. So, honestly, I could tell you, Bryson.
What?
I'm laughing at a comment in the chat that somebody said.
What does it say?
Oof. And another question that was asked.
Okay. Wait. Army who won this game last year?
I think it was Navy.
Really?
I think so. Navy's been pretty good at dominating this recently, even when Army has been a good team.
No, it was Army. Army won.
Okay. But here's another question that I have been asked. Okay. How many yards do you think Ashton Denty will have in their playoff game? You think he'll have over 100 yards if it is against a Power 4 school?
I'm going to say yes.
You think he can get to Barry Sanders' record?
Potentially.
Yeah, I think he can have a record-breaking game. Especially if it depends what team they play. They play if they run into an easy. Let me look at the bracket right now.
Yeah.
I
was about to say that it depends on who they're going to play.
They're going to either play Penn State or SMU. It looks like what I'm reading.
Yeah.
I I think they win. I think Ashton Jeanty could definitely go off in one of those games.
Definitely. Either Penn State or SMU, I think he could do it.
Yeah, I think
definitely.
Yeah, it's just
definitely.
Hot take. Okay. Here's another question. The Heisman Committee has turned into a popularity contest. Although Ashton Jeanty is the better player, Travis Hunter will win the Heisman because he cries more about it. That is a question that has been asked.
Okay.
You think that is a valid take?
I think that is a valid take. I completely understand that. But I would not be shocked if they gave it to Jeanty. I wouldn't be shocked.
I want him to.
I want him to. It's not that I don't think Travis Hunter shouldn't get the Heisman. I just think
he's a great player, but like Travis Hunter is on media and he's just crying about it. I don't want to give him an award to a crybaby.
And Jeanty's just handling his own business. He's just
going about
his business and just doing what he needs to do.
You know, and it's not his fault that he's getting the ball 1,000 times a game.
No.
The coach is deciding to give him the ball,
Yeah.
You give your best player the ball.
I was about to say if you don't want to win, then don't give it to your best playmakers.
Yeah, that's just sort of strange. And here's another question. They just keep flying in.
Oh my Lord. Dang.
If you had to change one decision at the playoff committee about seeding, what seeding issue would you change?
Seeding issue. What does he mean by that?
Like, do you think are you okay with the seeding, or do you think it should be different?
Like how the playoff is formatted right now?
Yeah, like how the seeds, like first round byes and who faces who.
Yeah, I think I like that the conference champions get a first round bye because first and foremost, they won their conference. It's kind of like the NFL in a way, just a little bit.
It's become that way.
Yeah.
And I think this will be a good experiment.
I think it will too. Yeah.
We'll have a lot of iconic moments in this playoff run.
Yeah. But no, I do like the fact. I do like the C's. I like how they're set up, and I also like the fact. What I also like about the new system is, let's say, for example, Oregon's let's just say they're number 6, right? Well, that doesn't mean they're going to be number 6 when the final, playoff bracket comes out. So if you're like, let's say Clemson is like number 12 in week 11, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be in the top in the playoff bracket because the rankings in the brackets are completely different.
I think it is everywhere it needs to be.
Yeah.
I think it's good the way it is, especially with them adding more teams. I don't think they need to add any more teams.
Mm-mm.
You're mentioning Thanksgiving break. They were going to add 14.
Mm-hmm. I believe in 2 years, but we'll see.
I don't want it to get any bigger. But
yeah.
Here is another statement that was made by someone in the chat.
Okay.
I think the odds are just stacked against Jeanty because the last non-5 Power 4 player to win a Heisman was Roger Staubach in the 60s.
Well, I guess it's time for him to make history then.
And he'll be a finalist. There's no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
He'll be a really close first place.
Yeah.
Or he'll be the winner.
Yeah.
Or I think they're going to give it to Travis Hunter just because he draws a lot of comparisons to Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
For the Wolverines.
Well, and I do agree with that comment about Jeanty maybe getting stolen the Heisman. I think I'm not saying that. Well, I hope Jeanty wins, but I think I don't know. I mean, favoritism is all over the place, especially in college football, and I think Travis will probably most likely get it. but we'll see.
Yeah, just a lot of favoritism there. Travis Hunter is a master of the media. He is always on the media.
Right.
And, I think there's a lot of stuff that has been discussed.
Yeah.
In this Heisman discussion, I think it just ultimately comes down to the voters and how their heart feels on this subject matter.
Yeah.
If they want a record-breaking running back to get it, give it to the record-breaking running back.
Right.
If you want a two-way position player that hasn't been done in a long time, give it to him. I don't think you can go wrong with your decision.
No. Well, and I think this is one of the most unique years for the Heisman race.
No quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ward was in there for a little bit, Gabriel was in there for a little bit, but they've kind of shifted. Different directions.
Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty have really taken center stage.
Yeah. I can't remember. Who was the last person to play defense and offense to win the Heisman?
I don't know. The last non-position player?
Yeah.
Non QB. I think it was Devontae Smith in
Devontae Smith, that's right. Yeah.
2021.
Yeah. That's right. That's exactly right.
And here's another question that was asked.
All right.
Who gets the Davey O'Brien Award for best quarterback? Which, I don't. I mean, the small niche little awards, I don't know. Like, the Davey O'Brien Award for who the best quarterback in the country was is very hard.
Jalen Milroe.
No. He did not play up to standards this year.
No.
I think we can give the Davey Bryant Award trophy. I think the best quarterback in the country most of the season was Cam Ward.
Yeah, I think I saw Shedeur Sanders got some award.
He got the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm Award.
Yeah.
Best senior quarterback, like academically and on the field.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good for him in his draft stock. Shows that he takes care of business in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Dang, that's
Best quarterback award's kind of hard this year because there wasn't really a standout guy.
I was about to say, I think that's going to be interesting in this year's NFL draft. Like, there isn't. I mean, we all thought Carson Beck was going to be a maybe number one pick, but I mean,
who was knocking at my door?
That's a great question.
It's the boogeyman.
Let's see. Here's best ranked quarter. Oh,
I think Shedeur Sanders could win the award. I think Cam Ward could get it. Dylan Gabriel is in the mix for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see any standout quarterbacks outside of that.
What about Cam Rising?
What?
I'm messing with you.
Are you high?
Hey, he's been in college football almost now for 8 years now, so he should get something.
I've almost been in college longer than I was in high school.
Middle school and high school combined.
Yeah. Dude, as long as I've been in school, you've almost been in college. Like, chill out. Go home. Do something different with your life. The University of Utah is ready to move on from you. We do not care that you got 8th year of eligibility. You have played longer.
No, but I think a genuine good quarterback. And I don't think a lot of people think about him a lot. I think Jackson Dart from Ole Miss.
Oh yeah,
I like Jackson Dart.
He just didn't play well down the stretch. Definitely great statistics. Great statistical quarterback during clutch time. Probably not the quarter guy you want, but very good quarterback. The
but
whole season.
I think just because the kind of season he's having this year, I think Dillon Gabriel will probably win it.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I think Cam Ward gets it. Maybe Shedeur Sanders, but I think we're kind of, unless questions start pouring in the next 5-6 minutes, we'll find something else to talk about in the meanwhile. But we're just gonna sit here and chill, talk about college football, and maybe we'll have plans. Since there's not a lot of football next week,
we're gonna have to get something going.
I'm gonna have to probably ask for a guest. I think I'll take guest submissions. I'll put guest submissions on the profile.
Hey, I already got a. I'm not gonna point out who, but I already got one request.
I've gotten a request too.
Yeah.
I'll line some stuff up.
Yeah.
And we could have a guest on the show this week. Because this week in college football is not very packed. Only really one game. So.
And we could get their views on what they've thought of the college football season and
ask them their sports story.
Yeah.
Been chilling for a few minutes. I think I got one more question.
Bet.
Who was the coach of the year? Arizona was predicted dead last in the Big 12, and who was the most underachieving team?
In the Big 12?
Yeah, my dad thinks Arizona State's coach really deserves this coach of the year.
Heck yeah.
They're projected to finish last in the Big 12 and won the whole dang thing.
Him, South Carolina's Shane Beamer. Who else?
I think Dan Lanning deserves it.
I was about to
say for going undefeated.
Dan Lanning,
maybe
SMU's head coach.
Yeah, maybe Dabo Swinney, maybe. No, probably not.
Boise State's head coach.
Yeah, I put Boise State's head coach in. I like him a lot. Talks a lot about Jesus. I like that guy.
Yeah. And then there's another one, Steve Sarkisian, Texas.
Yeah, I just don't think he'll get it.
Probably not, but he's probably still.
I definitely think Arizona State's Kenny Dillingham has a really good case.
Yeah, I mean they haven't won. Yeah,
coach of the year. And who was the most underachieving team this year was another question I was asked.
Well, and before we get to that, remember Arizona? I think Arizona State hadn't gotten a conference championship in over 20 years.
Oh,
something.
Yeah, that's crazy. But they won a conference championship in a new conference.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. And the most underachieving team this year, I don't know. Probably have to say the Oklahoma State for sure.
Really?
Yeah. They're projected to probably win the Big 12. I think or Oklahoma State and Utah both very underachieving this year.
Yeah. Sorry to my good friend Caden, but I'm gonna say probably the most disappointing team of the year would probably be Florida State.
Oh yeah, that's probably the most disappointing team of this year.
I just I get they lost players to the NFL draft and some players to the portal, but just going from 13-0. Obviously, getting blown out by Georgia in their bowl game, and then going 2-10. I wasn't expecting that. I was maybe expecting an 8 or 7 win season, but I wasn't expecting that big of a drop off.
Yeah, I was not either. Maybe a bowl game at least.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum, I saw that as their floor. But
well, and ESPN predictors were even predicting them to be in the playoffs this year.
Just an interesting predicament.
Yeah.
This season shaped out really fun.
And for our first year for the podcast, I mean, I don't think it could have gotten any better for college football.
Really good first year, and we still got the playoffs to go and bowl games. and I think we will start to bring guests on. Off season's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's just not going to be as many. I don't know if there's going to be as many episodes. It's going to be more of a fun thing at this point.
Mm-hmm.
In the off season, just going to be hanging out.
Yep.
But I think, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to announce this podcast guest thing is officially open.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to start putting down a guest list. Start putting down a guest request form if you want to be a guest on the show. And I will have an interview with you.
Oh.
Well, not an interview, but I will do a background check on you. Well, just something brief. Like, I don't want to like have a complete stranger on my show. Don't want to have some dude dressed up in a mask asking for my location. I don't want the literal boogeyman to be on my show. Yeah, I'm not gonna do like something crazy, but I just want to make sure we're not putting on some
background check
psycho on the TV on the podcast.
Hey, we might get more viewers.
That might be good for content. I think this is unless there's any questions in a minute or so, we are going to cut off.
Yeah.
Jonah said check the stats. Check the chat for stats on QBs.
Check the chat.
There's nothing here.
Huh. Well, I'm sure Jonah will get on to you later.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be visiting pretty soon. I think
is that it?
We'll
have any more questions?
Comments? I'll hang around for a minute, and then we'll hang around for like 1 to 2 more minutes. Wait for any more questions, and then we will. Yeah. We will head out and call it a day.
It's 10:16 at night. We're wide awake. We're not doing this thing at 11 or 12 in the morning. Bro.
I won't be wide awake. I'll have work to do later. But,
Yeah.
Yay! Finals week.
Let's go.
And I'm praying for all you college folk who are in finals. It is not fun.
Mm-mm. Hey. Just remember this. Just remember this, Ethan. Make America great again.
Yes, make America great again. And I got one more question. This will probably be the last question. I got a question from my phone. Who is the best player in the transfer portal?
Ooh.
That is a fun question.
That's a good one. And what's interesting is that there have been a ton of players entering the portal so far.
Dude, lots and lots of quarterbacks.
Yeah. Lots of cornerbacks, a lot of receivers.
You can really change your team this year.
Yeah.
I think you could have an instant rebuild in one season. You can have a microwave rebuild. It can be instant.
Who do you think's right now the primary target?
Well, if we're looking at just quarterbacks, I think, dude, I want to know. I think Jackson Arnold can be a really high priority target.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
very nice.
And so, I think we're gonna cut it off for the night. Once I want to thank y'all again for joining.
Yeah, thank y'all for joining.
If y'all are catching this later, cool.
Yeah.
Allison might mess around with this a little bit. Yeah, it might get turned into a freaking meme again. Who knows?
We both might.
Depressed Aggie mode activated.
Bro, that
was so funny.
That was funny.
I pray that finals week go well for all the college students out there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be tiring.
Lean on Christ when it gets tough. I think all y'all ought to believe in something. If that's a non-believer I'm preaching out there tonight,
Yeah.
Believe in something. That is my message going away from this podcast episode from today.
Yeah.
Believe in something right. Find the right way.
Yep. Certainly.
All right.